Hey guys, this is Sydnee A, and I want to introduce you to another awesome episode of Necro-Fiends of the Frozen Dead. I'm your host, and I am also the author of Everything I Need to Know I Learned in Go-Go, How a Preacher's Daughter Pole Danced Her Way to Finding Her True Self. You can pick up one of these at learnedingogo.com, but that is not what we are here to discuss. Today we are celebrating the fans and friends of Johnny Necro and the Frozen Dead. This is 25 years of this amazing comic book series. And I am super excited to introduce my guest for today. He's an awesome director of horror, Mr. James Carnes. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on here.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you could come on and chat with me. This is awesome. So as I mentioned, you are a director, and specifically horror, or do you venture into other areas as well?
Right now, it's just this is my first movie. I mean, but usually, I mean, it is generally horror. I started off, I guess, with doing any kind of directorial anything. I guess would be whenever I was a horror host, Bub the Demon. But yeah, and it just sort of. I mean, I always wanted to do movies, but yeah, this is my directorial debut, so to speak, and it's a feature-length film.
Excellent. So the movie that we are talking about, which is, I cannot wait to watch this, it is called Killer Cox. Just when you thought it was safe to go back to the coop. I'm mentally a 12-year-old boy. I will giggle every time we say the title of your movie, which I'm sure is part of why you named it that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it is still in the filming stage now, right? You're still
yeah. Oh yeah.
Awesome. So everyone listening, you need to stay in the vibe of this movie, see where it's going, follow it on Facebook. And I'm sure if you search Killer Cox, it will take you to the page.
Oh yeah. And we're actually doing a giveaway right now. If you go and like the Facebook page, we're giving away an autographed picture of Ed Neal, the hitchhiker from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
How
so
cool.
I mean, and it's Sheridan Authentics is. I mean, if it wasn't for them, I mean, they donated it. So I mean, that was really awesome of them. So we ended up hitting 420 likes on the page. So I was like, all right, I want to do a giveaway. You know, what are we going to do? And he was like, I got it. I got this right here. And I was like, hey, fuck yeah, dude. I mean, that'd be awesome. So, I mean, anybody that has liked the page, I mean, before, or anyone that likes the page from now until the 31st of July, they're entered to win this autographed picture of Ed Neal. So
awesome.
If you haven't yet, go like the page, go follow the page. I mean, we're dropping content. I mean, I've kind of not dropped any here recently because I've been busy as hell behind the scenes, getting a lot of really cool extra stuff going. So, yeah, we haven't dropped anything in a little while, but yeah, definitely keep in tune with that because we share all kinds of behind the scenes stuff that's going on, pictures, some video. And yeah, we'll keep everybody, involved and in the loop with when the film actually releases and what's going on.
That is awesome. So make sure you like it, you follow it, and then you share it so that your friends can do the same thing. We need to get the word out so that so many people will be enjoying this movie. And the reason why I'm speaking to you on this program about that movie is because our friend Johnny is actually in the movie, correct?
Oh yeah, Johnny actually, he's not only in it, he wrote, directed, he put a team together to go and film his scenes that are in the movie because I mean he's not in Texas. Right. I mean we do have some remote stuff, actually quite a few remote cameos actually, but Johnny, I mean, what Johnny did, I mean, he went above and beyond. Like I said, he put together an entire like team, and like there's a bar scene, and like him at a chicken farm. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, like I said, what he did was absolutely incredible. Him and Brian Anderson. I mean, yeah, they did a fantastic job. I'm still like, I'm in shock at what they did. I mean, and again, like, awesome dudes. I can't thank them enough for being a part of this and doing what they're doing.
It's just really cool. I was just speaking to Brian before I got on here with you, and we were talking about how cool it is to live in an age where you can remotely film and then bring it together and edit it into the same movie, because being in different states, like, there was a time where unless everybody's packing up and going to Hollywood, you're not making a movie. So exactly. I love that you have this opportunity to make your first movie, and it's an interstate production.
Right, for sure. And like I was saying, we have quite a few cameos in it, and like I said, they're all out of state. And like you were saying, like, we really are, especially like people that are just getting into like indie films and stuff. If you're just getting into making your first movie right now, the age that we live in, this is the golden age of indie films. Like, there's so many freaking tools out there for us to use now. It's incredible.
And that's why I want to encourage everybody again to go to the Killer Cox page, like it, share it, because the flip side of so many people being able to make indie films now is that there's so many out there. So we want to make sure to get you and Johnny and Brian and everybody in front of everybody's eyes so that they're watching yours.
Awesome.
That's what the social media is about. So
right.
I want to talk about your horror stuff, but I want to know how you know Johnny. Like, how did you guys meet?
Oh man, we ended up getting in touch, like I said, like it was probably a little bit over a year ago, and I'm sure it was through different like trauma stuff, through people involved with the trauma community, which, I mean, everybody in the trauma family is freaking awesome. They've been nothing but supportive with me with this film. But yeah, that's how I ended up meeting Johnny, and like, we started BSing, and I started, looking at. I haven't read a whole lot of the comic books, but I've read a few, and I mean, and his music. I'm a big punk rock guy, so that was mainly what connected Johnny and I, was his music.
That is awesome. And I love that Johnny posts his old comics so you can catch up, because I'm fairly new as well. I told you before we started recording, I only met Johnny in April, and now we're family. I love him.
Yeah.
And that's the one great thing about Johnny. I'm going to throw his link up here. You can follow his socials. You can check out his music. You can buy his merch. All of the links are in his link tree. So please, please, please go support our friend, Johnny Logan Harley, aka Johnny Necro. He is just a fantastic human being, and this is like become my catchphrase: when the tide comes in, all ships rise. And that's how Johnny lives his life and connects everyone he cares about, so that everyone can be successful. And because of him, I went to my first Tromathon this past weekend.
Yeah, I saw that. Saw some of the pictures. That's awesome. So you got to, you actually got pictures of one of the cast members, Turkey Man.
I have my picture with Turkey Man. I got to meet the Weredeer from Curse of the Weredeer, and
nice.
Number one, I got to meet Uncle Lloyd Kaufman, the sweetest man. I wanted to put him in my pocket and steal him. I love him.
Yeah, like, dude, meeting him was like, again, it was one of those like huge, like, inspirational, like, oh shit moments for me. Like, he's such an amazing dude, and just so incredibly fucking humble. Like, it's like it's fucking Lloyd fucking Kaufman, but like, it's just yeah. I mean, and that's why everybody calls him Uncle Lloyd.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I mean,
because he's just so he's authentic, and it's 50 years of trauma, and they had a birthday thing for Toxie, which was really
Toxie's
cool.
40th birthday.
Toxie's 40, yeah. So I only just recently saw the Toxic Avenger. Like I said, I'm learning, and I'm excited. I have my Trauma Now subscription, so I can like get into. I think I've watched like 5 movies so far, and I just want more and more and more and more. I'm so excited. I don't know if it's because with my background, I wasn't allowed to watch horror movies as a kid, so I'm making up for lost time. But
Oh yeah, and yeah, with trauma, trauma's
it's
trauma's
different.
definitely a different breed. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it's
I'm sure you've realized already. Trauma's definitely a different breed than any other production company, and that was why I loved them so much. There's one that I gotta highly recommend that you might not have seen yet.
okay. Which one's that?
Combat Shock.
Combat. I'm making a note in my phone because I have seen. Of course, I had to see Toxic Avenger. I saw Poultrygeist, and then I
Oh
went
yeah,
in a different direction and saw Tender Dracula and Preacher Man, and
okay.
now Curse of the Werewolf I saw on the big screen Friday night.
Fuck
So
yeah,
the thing that I
that's
love
awesome.
about Trauma, it is the movies that my brothers and my friends and I used to make when we were, I mean, minus the boobs, we were little, but but the coming up with the effects and the storyline and the over the top awesomeness of it is just so entertaining to me. The titles, I love all of it.
Right. And that's like the other one that they got coming out called Caterkiller.
I have
Like
not
I
heard of
don't like
this.
yeah, it's one that they've got in production. Again, I mean the title alone, I mean come on now.
Yep.
I mean that just screams perfection. I mean
That's
like Curse of the Were-Deer. I mean
I
sold.
peed my
Sold.
pants. And they used Flight of the Sajakota in the soundtrack. I'm like, who else remember? I still call them Green Jello. Sorry, trademark Jello. But who else
Oh
remembers that
yeah.
Green Jello song? I was like, oh my God. I'm in my truck, like in the drive-in freaking out. I'm like, I love this song.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
And just the energy at the event. Like, I was so sad Johnny couldn't make it because I would have loved to hang out with him and Ann again. But just the energy just like recharged my batteries and made me so happy. Everyone was so nice and pictures with everyone, and the merch was great. I wound up buying all kinds of stuff. I have my Poultrygeist hoodie and my I Heart the Monster
Oh,
Hero shirt. Like, I'm just so
yeah.
excited. It's a
Nice.
great community, and I feel honored that
Yeah.
I've been accepted already as a baby in it. So
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, yeah. Other than Combat Shock, there's another one that I'll recommend, and it's completely different than all their other ones. I'm sure you've heard of it. I'm sure. Cannibal the Musical.
oh, I love Cannibal the Musical. That
Okay.
I
Okay.
actually saw a few years ago before I knew what trauma was. I saw that
Okay.
movie. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's Trey Parker and fucking Matt Stone. So I
Yeah.
mean, again, you know what you're getting into with those guys. So I mean, that was another one of the one. I mean, and Tromeo and Juliet.
I have not seen that. That's on my list. Yes, I
Yeah,
did
that's
meet
another
the
damn
big
good one.
penis puppet at Traumathon. There was a big penis going around. So
Nice. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was introduced to that.
Yeah. But yeah, Combat Shock. It's another one of those ones. It's a different breed than most other trauma films. It's really dark and gritty. Like it's damn good.
That is awesome.
I gotta get onto my cat real quick. He's clawing at my door. Kiki,
Oh, okay.
hey, Kikis, you better stop that.
Oh, kitty. My dogs are in with my kids, so everybody's watching each other for me, which is cool. My kids are adults, so they'll take care of that.
He always tries to scratch at the front door. He's like, I want outside, and I'm like, no, this is Texas, and it's July. You do not want
You don't want
outside.
outside. Yeah,
You're
I
an
know.
inside cat. No.
Aw, that's a sin. Back to trauma because I could talk about dogs and cats all day. But
Oh yeah.
what was your first trauma movie like that you ever watched?
Oh, Toxic Avenger.
Okay.
Toxic. I mean, and I grew up with the Toxic Crusader cartoon,
Right.
and see, this was before I saw that before I saw Toxic Avenger, but I grew up. I mean, horror was always a big part of my family growing up. I mean, at a young age, I mean, I was watching horror movies with my aunt, my papa, and everybody else. I mean, I was 4 whenever I first saw freaking Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. That was the first horror movie I ever saw at 4 years old.
One, right? Or was that 4?
Yeah, that's
three,
that's
right?
3. That's
yeah,
3.
I thought that was 3. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, talking about scaring the ever living shit out of my ass at 4 years old. But I mean, and that was the thing too. Like, my papa was always there. Like, my grandfather, he was always, like it's fake. It's not real, and like explaining to me some of the ways that that they might have done the stuff. And then like at 7, I ended up watching Maniac with him. And I don't know if you've seen Maniac. Tom Savini. Oh shit. Tom Savini movie. It's
adding it to the list in my phone here.
Maniac is definitely like it's one of the top 5 if you're gonna watch a horror movie, it's in my top 5 list.
Okay.
Like it's fucking crazy. It's out there. It's fucking brutal. Like, and it's 80s.
I love 80s horror movies. Like, that's different vibe.
You'll love this then. Like, there's one scene in particular, and that's what drew me into doing FX. It's a scene where it's the killer jumps on the hood of a car with a 12-gauge shotgun, and just the guy driving the car was Tom Savini, and just blows his head clean off with the 12-gauge. Like, his head just explodes. And like me, like I know that that's not real, but it looks so damn good.
So
like,
real. Yeah. How
did they do it? How did they do it so damn good? And ever since then, I was sucked in. Yeah. And I've been experimenting and trying different stuff here and there, throughout the years, and just got caught up with life stuff, working regular jobs. I was a chef for a while, and then ended up kind of getting in a depressive state. I lost both my parents like back to back.
Oh,
and
so sorry.
Thank you. And that sort of like drove me into this. I was like, all right, I got to do something to like put my mind somewhere else, because like this shit's gonna fucking kill me. So I started sculpting, and I started making masks, and was really big into doing hockey masks, like for different Friday the 13th stuff, and doing that. And my mask making stuff just sort of went like took off a little bit from there. I ended up making a few different masks for Dustin Ferguson. I don't know if you know him. He's a super prolific filmmaker. I mean, he does a lot of like the B movie, the title. One of them is Bad CGI Monsters. I mean, like
I love that.
I mean, I think he's put out like over 150 films, I think, at this point.
Wow.
But he actually, yeah, I mean, he's another huge inspiration. That's the definition of like put the fucking work in. Like, he's a beast. But he ended up remaking Spider Baby here a while back. And I don't know if you've seen the classic Spider Baby.
I've heard it. I have not seen it, but the title is definitely familiar.
Dude, it's so good. It's so good. I think it was Lon Chaney Jr.'s last movie, if I'm not mistaken. But it's really good.
I'm adding that really under Maniac. I have I have the trauma category and the other category going now. So
yeah.
Busy here.
yeah. But yeah, I ended up making a couple of masks for the remake of that. And one of them actually, like the clown mask that I made for that, it's actually in a museum somewhere in California. I can't remember the name of the museum, but
how cool is that?
Yeah, right.
That's awesome.
And so and again, like we were saying, it's dude, it's the power of social media. Honestly, dude, like I just reached out to people. I was like, hey, like I've got this stuff going on, like, would you like a mask? Like, and that's kind of how it took off with Dustin and I. And I just ended up, just reaching out and, making connections with people. And I ended up, kind of got, a wild hair up my ass, especially after meeting Uncle Lloyd at Cult Classic Convention in Bastrop. I mean, my buddy and I, Seth Holbrook, we've been talking about making a movie and stuff for a while. That's actually who I horror host with too.
Okay.
Well, our horror host characters were Bub and Edgar.
I wanted to learn
like,
more about Bub the Demon. Like when you said that, I'm like, okay, we're definitely exploring Bub the Demon because I love.
Oh yeah, I mean, we had our own show for a while on the Monster Channel, and we left there. Too much drama and stuff over there, so we just left. But yeah, we ended up we're on the Vortex for a little while. And yeah, we're kind of on hiatus at the moment until we get done filming Killer Cox, and then Bub and Edgar are back on. I mean, he's a goat demon from hell with his buddy Edgar Nevermore, who's a mutant crow man from I think he's like Aboriginal or something. Like
I immediately thought Edgar Allan Poe and the quote "The Raven Nevermore." So I put that right
exactly.
Together. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, there are our alter egos, and we horror hosts. We show different movies and interview people and talk about stuff that happen behind the scenes and that sort of stuff. But yeah, we're super anxious to come back and ready. But like I said, we've got to knock this out first. This is definitely a lot more strenuous than doing the show.
Yeah.
For sure.
We were this photo up again, so because I mean it's just such a great photo. We have to see that again.
Oh, dude. I mean, yeah. It's the poster is fucking phenomenal. He really did a fantastic job on that. But we were actually horror hosting. We were actually part of the Spawn of Svengoolie contest, and they showed us on the Svengoolie show quite a few times. Nice. So if you saw that a goat demon with a raven guy, that was me. I was the goat guy. That was still back when they were doing the Spawn of Svengoolie contest. But yeah, I mean, again, he's another huge inspiration. Him, Joe Bob. I mean, I'm just so freaking many people. But yeah, dude, like getting involved with Uncle Lloyd and then making connections with the people in the trauma community. After the convention, it just sort of snowballed, and like I said, I was sitting at work, and I was watching listening to Lloyd's Make Your Own Damn Movie. And of course, being an indie filmmaker, one thing that really stuck out to me, being super low budget, because I mean, Seth and I, we had a couple of people help fund the movie, but primarily it was all us at first. Yeah, it's all self-funded. We had no Indiegogos, anything like that. And I mean, Seth, I mean, Jesus Christ, bless his heart, dude. Like he did. He put in a fuckload of overtime at his job, and helped get the funds that we need to really make this shit happen. Ended up getting some. I mean, we've got some pretty big name actors on board. I mean, even if it is some small cameos. I mean, fuck, we got Michael St. Michael's, the Greasy Strangler. I mean, shit. I mean, come on now. It doesn't get any cooler than that. The Video Dead. I mean, the dude's a fucking amazing actor. Amazing actor.
And you got him through your connections that you made, like over.
Yeah, I just happened to see him on Facebook, sent him a friend request, was like, hey, would you be interested in being a part of this movie? And he's like, yeah, reach out to my agent, and shit just went from there. And primarily that's all it is me just reaching out to people on social media. I'm like, hey, would you be a part of this? And they're like, sure, absolutely. I mean, Angel Bradford and Morgan Milam, they reached out and they were like, hey, we'd like to be a part of this. And again, they're pretty well known in the indie community. And that's I reached back out to Seth, and I was like, dude, holy shit, man. Because originally, like, it was supposed to be just like a micro budget, like we shot it in a weekend short film kind of thing. But like, it just like people's interest it made it snowball, and it ended up becoming a full-fledged, big production, especially, for us. Yeah, I mean, our budget's only, like $6K, But I mean,
Wow.
that's still quite a bit, you know, I mean, for you know, especially for, you know, us just doing it ourselves with no indie kind of, you know, Indiegogo or anything like that.
That's incredible. And
But
it's
yeah,
funny,
and
the
then
movie that I just saw, Curse of the Weredeer, was a short that they showed at Trimathon a few years ago. And so many people loved it that they made it a full length. And that's exactly what happened to you.
yeah. And I mean, we didn't even get the short done. It was just like so many people were like, hey, and then Dread Central, or no, it was Bloody Disgusting, wrote an article about it. And I was like, holy shit, like I didn't even know that they were doing it. And then, like, they tagged the page and put it out there, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, dude, holy fuck. And that's when I reached out again to Seth, and I was like, dude, like, this is like, I was not expecting this. And then, like saying, we ended up just reaching out to other people, and just like it astonished me that the people were just like, hell yeah, I want to be involved. I'll be involved. I was like, oh man, this is fucking crazy. This is great. And another super badass artist that I admire greatly, Alan CARNES. He no relation.
I was just gonna say, is that a relative?
Yeah, no, shockingly again. He was on one of the seasons of Face Off. I can't remember which one, but he was a contestant on that show. But he's, I mean, again, super badass effects artist, and he's pretty well known for doing like kind of doing some animal puppets and that kind of stuff. Okay. So, and he reached out and he was like, hey, I'd love to make the mutant rooster puppets for this. And I was like, absolutely, fucking done. Let's talk. Yeah. So he's making our 3 foot tall mutant rooster puppets that they look just like the one on the poster.
That's a big cock.
Yeah. Oh.
You know I have to make the jokes. You know I have to do it.
I mean, there's a movie too. Yeah, it's
I'm sorry, it went out again.
No, we've got to. I mean, there's plenty of those in the movie. I mean, there's a ton of dick jokes for sure. That's another reason why we, you know, title killer. I mean, we gotta run with it. Gotta play with it.
Yeah, you have to go kill the cocks just to like open the door to the jokes, because you know people are going to watch it just because they see that and they're waiting for the jokes.
Right, exactly. And it was just like so incredibly humble at the people that reached out and were like, yeah, hey, I want to be a part of this, or the ones that, you know, I reached out to and they were like, hell yeah. It's blown my mind, honestly. Like and it just shows like how awesome the community really is. You know what I mean? Like it's bewildering.
A lot of this is word of mouth, and it's when you meet somebody and they are like, this is a really cool person, then they tell other people who tell other people. That's how I got into this thing for Johnny, because I met him and in April, as I told you. And he knew I had a podcast, and he brought up the idea of this. It was supposed to be a documentary, but I talked too much, so it was too long for a documentary. Now it's a miniseries. And I said, I would love to, as long as you realize I have no freaking idea what I'm doing. I just started my podcast in February. Like I'm new to all of this, but I'm like, I'm going to jump off the cliff and grow wings on the way down. Like everything is figure outable, and I'm just going to do my best. And I've met so many people. I met Reaper doing the interview, who I know you have a podcast with, and now I do a podcast with Reaper and Human the Hoofed Beast on Saturday nights, although they go by Candy Sizzle and Mimi Horny, and I'm Sugar Hooter. so, but it's just like, it's a pebble in the water. It just, the ripple effect of who you meet and how many other people are in and excited about this project and want to be part of it for you.
Right, and that's what's crazy too. Is like the people, like stuff like the unexpected, like, you know, touching people's lives, like, to hearing like, again from John, and again, like such a badass, like the scenes that he filmed for us for our movie, in which, by the way, Johnny has the first death scene in Killer Cocks. So, but like he was telling me that one of the people that filmed there, like, she was still talking about it, and like, you know, how much it touched her life, and like, and now she's like, you know, wanting to like get into acting and stuff because of that. It's like, see, like, that's fucking awesome. Like, you know, to give people a chance, you know, and to put it out there, like, you never know what you're gonna do to somebody's life, like, just in, you know, letting them be a part of something like that, like, and again, like, I didn't realize how much I liked acting until I was on set for Castle versus Voorhees here recently. Badass fan film. I mean, if you're into comic books, like if you like Punisher and Jason, you're gonna fucking love this. But
I was like, I know those names.
oh yeah. I mean, and again, like, the guys who are portraying those two, and they're the writers and directors, John Shepard and Brian Bynum, and they're both part of my project as well. But like, those two guys, like, John fucking is Frank Castle. Like, it's insane, like, how much, like, he's put into that role. Like, it's just yeah, right. And just like, too, he grew up, you know, big book nerd, so he's loaded the story. You know, it's one of those things that's kind of like ingrained into him a little. But yeah, I mean, I didn't realize, you know, how much I like doing stuff until I, you know, got on screen, and because normally, like, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna get in front of the camera unless I've got a mask on or something, because I don't like my face. I don't like my face being on camera. So I mean, and that's a lot of it, yeah. But after that, I'm like, fucking put me, let's fucking go. Let's rock. And getting my chance to do mine.
I'm sorry, I was just going to say, just to recap what you said, because it went all wonky again, but I did hear you say the guy that's playing Punisher grew up a comic book nerd, and he had the background from that to play the character, right? Is that what you were saying? Because that's what I heard. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I wish this connection was better, because I love hearing what you're saying.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Internet. Sorry.
But I'm really glad that you are taking the opportunity to get in front of the camera too. And like you said about giving people opportunities that, you know, not everyone can go and sit in an audition in New York City or in LA and go to audition after audition after audition to try to get a part in a movie where you're handing somebody a coffee cup. Like, this gives somebody a chance to really find their passion, get it out there. And one big thing that I'm into is just positive vibes. And I honestly think that when people have a community that accepts them, you know, let your freak flag fly, and your people are going to find you. So the more that you're giving people opportunities to put more positive vibes out there, it just helps everyone, because there's too much negativity.
Exactly.
So let's have fun and be creative. People don't get the chance, they don't make the time to be creative as much anymore. So I love that you're doing that for people too.
Exactly. And that's the thing too, is like there's a role for everybody. Like, if somebody, oh well, I don't look a certain way, I don't feel a certain type, fuck that. Like, real life, there's real people of all shapes and sizes and everything in real life out there. There's fucking roles for everybody, and that was another big. That's another big part of the casting that I've done with my movie, and like you were saying, giving people a chance that haven't really had a chance before, and it's people that I've worked with that I know what they can do. Like, I've seen what they're capable of, and I've got total faith in them. And I'm like, let their freak flag
it's
fly.
Hard to say, isn't it?
Hell yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's I mean, just go with it and just be yourself. Like, and again, that's what this movie is all about.
Yep. And that's kind of like, as I've gotten older, I've been giving myself permission to do more things for myself. Now that my kids are grown, I don't feel like I have, this is my season I'm coming to. And I'm coming into everything with the attitude that I'm either going to kick ass or make an ass out of myself. And either way, I'm going to have a great story. So
Hey,
if you've always wanted
exactly.
to act and you're not sure that you can, an indie film is a great way to like practice your craft and see, like help the other indie people, the directors, the creators, and everything, and be part of something that is awesome. And it's always like everybody's, I want to be the main character. Some of the side characters are what make the fucking film too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so there, like you said, there's a role for everybody, and if that's something that you have a passion about, do it. We're only going around once, so wring this life out every drop you can, and do all the things you want to do.
Exactly. We only got one spin on this rock, so might as well make it good.
Exactly. Exactly. And I love that you did that you were like, you know what, I'm inspired to do this, and I'm gonna, like, when you have that attitude of I'm gonna make it happen, the universe opens doors. And like you said, just sending messages and getting all the pieces to fit into place is awesome. I'm so happy. I cannot wait to see this. I'm excited.
Yeah, thank you. And again, like you were saying, like, the machine wouldn't be able to work like it does without all of the everybody is like, no one is more important than the other. Like,
Yeah.
everyone is a piece of this machine that makes it work perfect.
Exactly.
And like you were saying, there's some scenes, there's some characters that have little spots. There's one in particular. He has a recurring thing in the movie, and when people see it, they're gonna laugh their ass off. It's pretty fucking funny.
That is awesome. I'm trying to like think off the top of my head of like different, because there's always movie lines that you quote and everybody knows who it is, like the girl in the classroom that's like, my cousin's neighbor's roommate's cousin said she's off Ferris, passed out of 31 flavors yesterday. So it must be kind of serious, Thank you, Simone.
Right.
That's all that she said in the whole movie, but she's forever Simone in Ferris Bueller. There's always something,
Right. And like, my favorite quote from the movie. So, yeah, it might be that one. Like, I don't know. The more I think about it, it's Ma Bronson, when she's talking to the two main characters at the beginning of the movie. She tells them, put on some drawers. I can see your dick stains from here.
That's going to be repeated in many households.
Oh, I'm sure it probably will. That's definitely one of my favorite lines for sure. And again, just the cast and the crew that I've got. Like, I couldn't be thankful enough. Like it the people that came together and were like, hey, I want to help out. I want to be a part of this. Anything that I can do to be a part of this. I mean, it's been truly amazing. It really has.
That's awesome. And I honestly think it's because you have an attitude of gratitude with this, like that attracts people to want to be a part of this.
I mean, that's what you got to do. I mean, if you got, don't be an asshole. I mean, how can you expect to achieve anything if you're a fucking dick? I mean, nobody wants to work with a fucking asshole. I mean, honestly, I mean, that's my approach with everything. Just be nice, like, go out there and fucking, do your best to make the world a fucking better place, and just, include everybody. So, and that's what I try to do.
Well, that's awesome. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And I love your background in horror too, because as I mentioned before, you do have a podcast, and it is it Reaper and Carnage's horror Wait, it's too many words. Backyard horror barbecue.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
I can say Freak Flag Fly, but I can't say the name of your podcast.
Yeah, and me and Reaper, that we just talk about, like, we're just like obscure horror movies, ones that are kind of lesser known, ones that aren't so mainstream, and we just talk about them and we just have a really good time.
Yep. Yeah, I love, like, because I learned so many different things. Like I said, I'm going to need to live 10 lives to watch all of the movies that I'm putting on my list here. But
dude, yeah, there's so many, especially like we're saying now in this day and age, there's so many good freaking movies out there. And like I said, like, I tend to more gravitate to way more toward the indie movies now, because that's where all the originality is now. I mean, and there's there's so many good ones out there. It's hard to catch up.
Yep, because the mainstream movies seem to be so many remakes now, and it's like, come on, So, like you said, there's so many different things out there, and just explore the indie talent. Troma Now is a great place. Tubi's a great place. There's so much out there. So, if you had to pick one subgenre of horror, like, do you prefer the ones that have like the killer animals, or do you prefer like the psycho or the like vampire? Like, is there a particular?
I mean, I'm a big slasher guy. But that being said, I'm really into like Lovecraftian movies too, which is another huge inspiration for Killer Cox. I mean, okay, for those that don't know, Killer Cox, it starts like the town of Wacky, Texas is basically like the whole community is like just overrun with chickens. Like that's how the community makes their money. Like people have chicken farms everywhere. Everything is chicken obsessed. Even like the football team is called the Fighting Cocks. I mean, that's how far it goes. Like it's chicken obsessed. So a meteor hits the town of Wacky and starts mutating all of the chickens into these bloodthirsty, ravenous mutants. And it just so happens to be the same day as Wacky's 57th annual fried chicken fry-off. So all hell breaks loose during this fry-off, and there's mutant chickens going around slaughtering everybody. It's fucking insane. But it was another The Curse was another big inspiration for that old school Will Wheaton movie. Oh, dude, another one. Like I grew up watching that one quite frequently on Channel 27 on the weekends. But yeah, it was another one, a big one. Like Creature Features. I mean, Critters. Another big inspiration for this. I'm a sucker for Creature Features. I love creature movies. I'm a big zombie guy. I mean, there's a lot
like
that
you like the whole buffet.
Pretty much. I mean, there's not a lot that I don't really care for possession movies too much, really, I guess. Okay. Like I'm not really into those. Now what was that one? Fuck. The Taking of Deborah Logan. That one was done fucking beautifully. That one was creepy as shit. That one was really fucking creepy. But yeah, like those, I mean, I would say home invasion movies, I'm not really, but there are a lot of those that are really good too. Like You're Next. You're Next is really fucking good.
It's all how they're done. Like some of them are corny and some of them are like scary. So it's how they're done. Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on what the mood I'm in, I guess. Like I'm really in, like I was saying, like Lovecraftian body horror movies, a creature feature movies, like and again monsters. The more monsters, the more I love it. Nightbreed.
Oh my god, one of my favorite. That's an old one. Yeah.
Oh, favorite fucking movie of all time. Like I fucking love Nightbreed. That's another really big one for me. Huge inspiration. Love Nightbreed. I mean, there's not really any that but yeah, I tend to like slashers probably more so than other movies.
Yeah, I remember being a kid, like I said, wasn't allowed to watch them when I was a kid, so it was always at slumber parties, or like stuff like that where I could sneak them. But we'd go to the video store and I'd always sneak off into the horror section just to look at the covers. Like I loved the I don't know if it was House or House 2, but it had the hand in the doorbell and it said "Ding dong, you're dead." That amused the shit out of me. I thought that was the funniest thing. Or like Saturday the 14th, where she has the knife behind her back and the braid that's the noose. Like the covers to me were almost as entertaining as the actual movie.
Oh yeah, and again, that was another big thing with this one. Like I was like, man, like I want it to be very Critters, like because again, Critters. Critters was a huge. I mean, you saw that VHS tape. You know, when we were kids, like it stuck out. Like it was one of those. It's a badass cover.
Ghoulies.
Spookies.
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't remember Spookies, but Ghoulies with them coming out of the toilet. I was scared to
no,
take a shit for a week.
they'll get you in the end. I mean, again, like it was fucking so goddamn clever with some of the lines that they had too. Like, and dude, I think like every one of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies that had fucking iconic VHS art, like every one of them were just so badass. Like, yeah,
You
it was.
immediately got the vibe just looking at the cover. You could get goosebumps because you knew. Like it was just.
Yeah.
I love it.
Return of the Living Dead Part 2. Like, I mean, again, we could go on and on and on. Like, yeah, that was a big thing for me too. Was VHS cover art. Like, if the cover art looked badass, I was all over it. That was going home with me that Saturday for sure.
Yep. And it's funny because it's the same age as like the vinyl. You'd pick your record by the vinyl cover, because
Right.
the cassettes, like sometimes they'd have the big rectangle they'd sell it in so you could see the cover, and then on the tape though it wasn't the same as having an album. Was almost like another poster.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm popping your cover up again because it is like if I saw this on a VHS, I would want to rent it. Like
Now,
it
see,
just.
that's awesome. Perfect.
Yep.
Then it's done its job.
Yep.
Then
Who
it's done
did the cover art for you? Did you do that, or was that designed by?
No, Sean Burkett did that actually. Again, like he's a super badass artist. And he actually wrote and directed a movie, "Don't Fuck in the Woods."
That's one of the rules.
Dude, that movie is fucking hilariously awesome. Like, super badass movie. Totally 80s, and that was the vibe for my movie going into it too. Like I was saying, like we went. I'm not a big CGI. I mean, I understand, some CGI you've got to. I mean, it's warranted, but
It has its place. But
right. But I mean, I'm a big fan of practical effects. So there's a lot of that going into this. Like I said, there's puppet work. There's a few animatronics. There's miniature sets. I mean, for those, yeah, I'm for my day job, I actually do like gaming miniatures, kind of like
okay.
D&D type stuff. So it was already in my wheelhouse right there too, to do that. Like, and it amazed me. Like, I didn't know until probably about 3 or 4 years ago that so many freaking like movies had miniature sets, like Evil Dead 2, the cabin in Evil Dead 2. Like that was a miniature. The outside of it, like that was a miniature set. Like that blew my mind. I was like, holy shit. And again, it was one of those things where I was like, well, shit, if they could do it, like I can do it.
Absolutely.
Like I'm pretty good at doing miniatures. I might not be that good, but I'm pretty damn good. So, and just like, again, kind of went from there, and
the more you do it, the better you're going to get. Because that's the other thing, is the consistency. You got to just keep trying and keep learning and be humble and teachable. Because you can't go in being like, well, I know what I'm doing, so I'm not listening to you. You need to take instruction.
Yep. And that's the thing too. Like I'm learning stuff every day from so many people. Like again, I couldn't be more gracious at the cast and crew that we got. Like, everybody on board is truly amazing. Like I can't thank everybody enough. They've really helped. They've helped really bring this together. Like, it wouldn't be what it is without the people involved. That's for sure.
That is awesome. I'm having flashbacks. I have this issue where it pops in my mind and then it has to come out my mouth. Like, there's no filter. So I just had a memory when you were talking about working with miniatures. My brothers made a little like a stop motion movie with the Grimlock. I don't know if you remember the Dinobots.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
So it was Grimlock, but it was kind of like a Godzilla movie with him. And like, I just had a flashback of like moving him like millimeters at a time to get him to go. We would do that. We would do claymation. And my brother in middle school, I believe it was, made a horror movie, and it was called The Mutant Mr. Potato Head. And
that's awesome.
Mr. Potato Head would kill people, and when he did, you knew it was him because he would leave an anchovy on them. I don't know why. I want to find the VHS of this because I know it's still in someone's house. But I'm like, come on, we got to watch The Mutant Mr. Potato Head.
That's fucking awesome. That's
Yep.
awesome. It's funny that you mentioned that too. Another project that we have in the works, and this is one that's it's gonna take a lot of time. It's not gonna be done anytime soon. We're actually working on a stop motion project. It's my daughter and I are both writing it.
Awesome.
Which my daughter Abigail, she's about to have her 15th birthday. She is actually one of our puppeteers for Killer Cox as well. She's one of the puppeteers that's controlling one of the mutant roosters. But we're working on a stop motion project. It's called Harker. Which to without giving out too much context, it's about keeping the family business alive.
Okay.
If you see the kind of the logo that we've got, you'll probably already immediately know where it's going. Jonathan Harker from Bram Stoker's Dracula. So it's
awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty freaking awesome. It's gonna be a little bit cartoony, but not too much. If anybody's a big fan of stuff like Paranorman,
yes. I forgot about that one.
Oh, dude, you'll like this a lot.
Awesome. And I love that you're doing it with your daughter. Like passing along that passion for filmmaking is so awesome.
Oh yeah, she's definitely one of my main reasons for even doing this and keeping going. Like she's the future of what we got going here for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, my older daughter is going to college for animation, so she does digital movies as well. So it's really cool to see all the different types of creativity coming to life, and there's definitely a need for art and artistic expression, and I get furious when they take that out of the schools because it's so necessary to have creative energy.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're nurturing that in Abigail, and happy almost birthday.
That's awesome. That's so
cool.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Well, I want to once again show off this talking about amazing creativity and art. One of the things that I love about the comics is that they're funny, but it's smart humor, and it the pop culture references. There's just so much once you take the chance to dive in. Yep.
Like the way that he does some of the stuff, like the Back to the Future stuff, the Terminator stuff. It's fucking brilliant, man. It's fun. It's awesome and funny as hell.
Well, I love Back to the Future and Johnny now have a combined part in my heart, because when I met Johnny, he was dressed up as Doc from Back to the Future and taking photos with the DeLorean with kids that just looked at him so wide-eyed, and he was Doc. He just embodied the character and was so funny, and I just loved him from the second that I met him. So definitely support Johnny. I'm going to throw his link back up here for everyone to go get a copy, because when you do, you're not just supporting Johnny and Anne, but Johnny's supporting so many other people with their visions. So you're helping the whole community, and that means that you're going to become part of the community too.
Absolutely.
The more the merrier in our little freak fest. We love you guys.
That's it. Exactly.
Awesome. And I also want to share your here we go. Change it to your other Facebook.
If anybody has any questions, or you ever want to reach out to me with anything, like if you want me to help you out with anything, I don't have a ton of cash, but I'll do my best of my ability to, I could do B-roll stuff. I can do FX stuff for super cheap. Hit me up. We'll any questions, anything. I'm more more than happy to help out, like is best I can, for sure.
That is so generous. Thank you. Because we all help each other. Like I said, when the tide comes in, all ships rise. So same with me. If
Exactly.
there's anything I can do to help, please
Awesome. Hell yeah, for
reach out
sure.
to me too. You know, like I'm happy
For
to.
sure.
There's my stuff and James's stuff. And you already saw
Hell
Johnny's
yeah.
stuff. So follow us all. We're just a
Yep.
big old happy family. So
Hell yeah. Damn right.
awesome. Well, thank you so much for hopping on here with me. And I cannot wait to check out Killer Cox and see
Awesome.
what all the clucking's been about. So
Oh yeah. It's gonna be wild, that's for sure. That's for
awesome.
sure.
Awesome. Well, I will see you on Facebook. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.